The UFC returned to our screens for the first time in 2026 this past weekend, and we're about to unpack everything that went on and more, including all of the gossip that followed this Saturday's UFC 324. Welcome on in, folks. Hit that like button if you've not done so already, and hit the subscribe button because fan opinions matter most, and we can't wait to hear your opinions on all the future matchups and some of the gossip to follow as well. There's lots to talk about. Welcome on in. As you can see, my voice is still a bit ropey, actually, from not just commentating on the UFC during the watch-along this past weekend, but also for the fantastic result of Man United beating Arsenal on Sunday night. Yes, there was a few ales. There was a few drinks. We got a bit leery. We were pissing off the Arsenal fans in North London. Of course we were. But lots to go through tonight. Oh, that's the old bit. We won't write that up. But lots to go through. We'll talk about Topuria versus Gaethje. Bit of a rundown on that fight because that's clearly the next fight, or big fight in the lightweight division, should we say. We'll talk about Paddy the Baddy's next move. Who should he fight next? When do we reckon we all return, perhaps? Is it a bit too late for him to return or to UFC London in March? Probably too soon, I reckon. We'll talk about what's going on with Dana White and Tom Aspinall since the post-fight press conference, because that was a bit of a weird one. And we'll maybe perhaps touch on Dustin Poirier's return as well, because he's kind of teased a return following this past weekend. We'll also get into some funny things I found online as well, and a really good promo. Lots to go through, including the future matchups. Stick around. How are we all doing? Morning, Sis Breezy. How you doing? Good evening, sir. How are we? Good evening, George Merry. Paddy will return for September pay-per-view or Abu Dhabi. You reckon? I mean, it's a good shout. I mean, because you got to look at it, right? They're going to want to put on a huge card for the White House, and that'll be around June-ish. They usually put on banger pay-per-view after banger pay-per-view during the summer, and then of course we get the big one in Abu Dhabi in October. So yeah, you could be right. He took an absolute beating in that Gaethje fight, and of course we'll touch upon that in a bit as well, just his overall performance, and just Gaethje being Gaethje, man, and whether or not we were surprised about the outcome or not. But to kick things off then, Patriots or Seahawks, says George May. To be honest, it's got to be the Seahawks, I think, for me. I predicted they were going to win the Super Bowl at the start of the postseason. Patriots have just looked a bit shaky, in my opinion. I mean, I know it was freezing cold the other night, but 10-7 against the Broncos with their backup quarterback, whereas the Seahawks have been absolutely flying this season. It's going to be a Seahawks win. It's going to be a Seahawks win. But look, I'm buzzing for it. I think it might be around Central London, I think, for it. Till the early hours of the morning. I think I need to book that off, actually. But, touch upon the prelims then before we get into the main card kind of stuff. There's a few fights we had some issues this weekend. Apologise once again for the sound problems. We tried to go live during the prelims because we wanted to capture our reactions to the Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukauskas fight, but that kind of elongated and was kind of on and off for most of the prelims, really. So I didn't really get much of a watching of the new Umar Nurmagomedov and Davison Figueiredo fight, but Figgy didn't really turn up, did he? Did catch the middleweight belt up again for the Atiba Gaeta versus Andre Puliev. That was quite surprising that went to a decision. Takes on the Krylov versus Modestas fight. If I'm honest, from what I was watching, I did feel like Modestas was potentially... I mean, I think he was down... He was definitely down the first round. Second round was a bit better. To take him a while to get going. And then was very unfortunate of getting clipped in the third round. I think... For me, it felt like Krylov was very aggressive and on the front foot quite early. And maybe it surprised Modestas because Krylov, let's not forget, is coming off of a devastating knockout loss against Dominic Reyes. So maybe Modestas thought that Krylov will try and be a little bit more kind of calculated in his approach, and then therefore it will allow Modestas to kind of get off his technical striking, but or allow him to be the more aggressive out of the two. But yeah, Krylov, hats off to him, man. He brought his A game that night. He really did. I think he landed, one or two takedowns on Modestas. But look, Modestas going to be back. I'm still yet to drop him a little message. Thought we'd give him a bit of time to give him a little time to process things, and then yeah, we'll flood his messages with love, no doubt. And yeah, I'd advise you to do the same on social media, if of course you're a big fan of the guy. Perez, again, his knockout against Charles Johnson was probably one of the surprises of the night, really, on the prelims. No one really saw that coming. Yes, it was at a catch weight. Charles Johnson had been looking solid in the build-up to this fight. But man, Alex Perez is back. Ilya flatlines Gaethje worse than he did Jai Herbert, says Breezy. Big shout out. Yeah. I mean, I can almost see it as well. But man, Gaethje's tough. It's going to be so difficult to put Gaethje out, surely. I mean, look, Paddy cracked him a couple of times in that first round, right? But yeah, Topuria's got deadly power. Much more power than Paddy, even though Paddy's just naturally bigger. Toolbox Talk says, Paul beat Krylov, Modi beat Paul, Krylov beats Modi, MMA math has dyslexia. Yeah, no, spot on. Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? But then Paul Craig, when he fought Krylov, was a different Paul Craig. That was Paul Craig when he was, he was ready for it, like, for sure. Paul Craig just hasn't been the same in the last few fights, really. Modi loves a UFC triangle. Yeah, he does. He does for sure, man. Yeah, welcome, Breezing. Toolbox Talk says, Alex Hernandez betting his pay away before he got it. I saw that, man. I saw that. That fight got pulled because Dana was too sus about the betting line suddenly changing. He was like, no, I didn't want any of that again. So, which is kind of sucks, because surely those two fighters should get their pay, right? All right, they didn't fight, but they showed up on the night, and it's very unfortunate the fight got pulled. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. But there'll probably be an investigation. We'll find out. Salute, Wales. Good to see you, brother. How we doing? How was the rest of your evening, Saturday night? What was the one he had with Petrino before? Oh, Modi. The one he oh, it was Zach. Was it Zach Palga? I want to say it was Zach Palga. I think he fought, wasn't it? I just can't remember. I mean, yeah, the Petrino fight. Let's have a look. Yeah, it was Zach Palga. I mean, he beat Tyson Pedro prior to that. Are you referring to, or is it you referring to the MMA triangle of the fact that he beat Kutalaba and Kutalaba beat? Oh no, Kutalaba. Did Kutalaba beat? No. Oh, Kutalaba beat Roundtree, didn't he? Yeah, that's the one. Of course, Roundtree beat Modestas. That's the triangle. Missed the whole main card. Got well sick. Felt like I was poisoned. No way. Was that from? Did you get a takeaway that night as well, Wales? Raw. That's no way to. How dare the takeaway ruin your night like that, man? That sucks. I did wonder where you went. That's why you didn't send me a link. Says Toolbox Talk. Confused what you meant by that. I don't know what he's referring to. Anyhow, yeah, so before we get into like recapping the main card then, question for you guys. Was it a good start to the Paramount era? Did you feel? I mean, like, it kind of like the some of the on-screen stuff looked really good. The whole drop of the curtain before the main card looked quite good. But did the new bonuses affect the fights in any way? Because when it got announced that everyone's pay was going to go up in the bonuses, I felt, oh, that's wicked. We're going to get finish after finish after finish. But really, we didn't get that at all. It didn't really feel like the fighters were fighting for the extra bonus. I mean, the Gaethje Pimlet one is something we could talk about. Maybe we're going to get into that one a little bit later on the bonus side of things, and the reason why Paddy perhaps fought the way he did. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finishes out of how many fights? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What about 11? You know, I was expecting a little more, not going to lie. That's no problem, brother. No problem. Charles dropped Justin. Ilya smoked Charles. I think Ilya will finish Justin, but I guessed Paddy winning, so I'll be quiet till Buffer announces the winner. Health before anything, mate. Oh, okay. Oh, he's referring to. Oh, did you ask for a link to the fight? I think the 25k is going to make a huge difference on fights this breezy. Hopefully it does moving forward. From what I saw, the whole Paramount presentation was pretty good. Prelims had so many last second finishes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. The four on the prelims. Yeah, 6. It makes people's hungrier, says Talbot's Talk. Not think I'm going all guns blazing to not get a 50k bonus. It's definitely a huge incentive there for sure. I mean, especially after last year, I feel like maybe, it was a bit of a lackluster year in 2025. I got a bit of hate for saying that before, but the only reason why I said it is because we had the whole kerfuffle around the new gloves and the fact that new gloves were giving us less finishes and more decisions, and just the overall matchup wise, there wasn't too many like, oh my god, this fight is insane type fights. There were like fights that we predicted were going to happen next, really, I guess. Breezy says, I don't know, I think the prelims, it's made a difference. If you're on a 10 plus 10, it's a hell of an incentive. The guys at the top, I think, are making enough. Yeah, I mean, it is really true for the prelims, but that's the thing, like, bonuses tend to go to the main card guys anyway. The guys on the prelims really, really, really need to show up and hope that, they get enough to earn themselves a bonus. In fact, who actually landed the bonuses in the end? It was Fight Night, Gaethje versus Paddy. I mean, that's clear. That's pretty obvious. Performance of the night, Josh Hockett and Ty Miller. But then, of course, Krylov getting a bonus for the knockout against Modestas. Perez getting a knockout bonus. So, I think the knockout bonuses are really cool. The following fighters received 100k bonuses. The other finishes received 25 additional bonuses. So, did Gaethje and Paddy get 100 each? Oh, Alex Perez missed weight, of course. He got a lot less money than the others. So, that's crazy. Or was it 50-50? I'm really confused about that. I did see Dana was still dishing out the 3k and a few bits for losers. Oh, yeah. No, he's actually been quite generous with money, really. I feel like if you ask him enough, he does, I think, give out some, especially if fighters are going through hard times. I do find it annoying that the guys or girls on the prelims don't get a look in as much because the names, the most bonuses are fan favourite. There have been some mad fights on the prelims in recent months. There really has, and I know Ash keeps telling us to do prelim watch-alongs as well, add it in there, and it requires a whole lot of more energy. And of course, logistics side of things. So, maybe we can get some more prelim fights this year. Who knows? All right, cool. Let's get into recapping then the main card then. Let's talk about then Jean Silva defeating Arnold Allen via decision. In fact, what was the scorecards? It was 29-28. No, 30-27. 130-27 and 229-28. Jean Silva had a really good sort of... the first round was okay. I thought Arnold Allen was getting the best of him in a lot of the exchanges. But he found his groove in the second round. It was competitive overall fight. But it was kind of clear who won at the end, I feel. Silva's timing was just impeccable. He was too quick for Arnold, too quick at kind of pulling away from strikes and then landing 1-2 of his own, or trying to land the overhand or the shot to the body, which you can see in the image there. Yeah, so it's a great win for him, bouncing back off the loss against Diego Lopez. Title fight in mind, though, guys. Do you think it's possible for Jean Silva to get a title fight in 2026? Now, let's look at it. Now, we've got, obviously, Volk's going to be defending the belt against Lopez. If Volk beats Lopez again, does that open up an opportunity? But the ultimate question is, how many times is Volk going to defend the belt in 2026? Because I believe last year he only defended the belt, or he only fought, was it twice? No, he only fought once. He only fought Lopez that once. Did he have an injury? I can't remember. So he fought Topuria once in 2024, but of course he was coming back off of knockout losses. You know, Volk's not really in his prime anymore. Maybe perhaps he's smart enough to not fight 3 times. So, say Volk beats Lopez for the second time, do we then see an Emos Faivulev, Lerone Murphy winner? Or does the UFC decide to sidestep both of them if they're in a boring fight, or if there's a draw? Because if there's a draw, Jean Silva's going to get in there. You know he is, for certain. Like, he's a bit of a fan favourite. Fighting nerds. The UFC love the fighting nerd guys. You know, they make a lot of noise. So, my answer is almost like a yes and a no. Right? And it does really depend on a lot of outcomes. If Lopez beats Volk, we're getting a trilogy next. Right? Then the Mosfars, the Murphys, the Jean Silvas, they've all got to fight each other. Again. Or, you know, the winner of Evelev and Murphy will probably fight Jean Silva. So, yeah, I think it's very slim that Silva fights for a belt in 2026. Could happen early 2027 if he keeps on rising, you know, and keeps... I mean, it would have been great if he finished... For him, it would have been great if he finished Arnold Allen. Of course, for us Brits, it wouldn't look great. But, yeah, a finish would probably catapult him into title contention a lot sooner. Talk said, pre-fight Paramount face-offs ain't gonna work with a true hated rivalry. Imagine Hookie and Paddy doing that face-off. Now they've got proper beef. Joe, I thought exactly the same thing, George. I was like, well, Gaethje and Paddy, they're going to be civil about it anyways. They're going to be very respectful. Moving forward, 2 guys that don't like each other, they're going to have to, like, do a really good edit. I mean, they might just do that anyway, really. Camera position on one side, get one at a time, walking across, and then you just cut, you know, you just slice the video so it looks seamless. The 3 Englishmen cost me 35k on a £1 bet. This year will win and UFC bet, and I bet it will be like a tenner. Well, I mean, you and Ash will probably be in the same boat, but Ash has promised that he'll give people money at the end of the year. That was what he said in his predictions video. But what is next then for Jean Silva then? Well, I've got 2 options. One I really, really like. I said during the watch along, and it must happen. My first option, however, though, is Yair Rodriguez. Maybe a most likely option there. He's been kind of missing since April 2025 and only fights once a year. He's either privileged like Sarukian, or he sold that Mexican interim belt off on eBay. Like, because why we don't see him that often, I don't know. Surely he needs to keep fighting. Weird for me. So that's my first one. The second one is Steve Garcia. Now, this one is a barn burner. That's a headliner, right? Because how do you spot a casual, right? If they're not excited about this fight, then you're clearly not a hardcore fan. Garcia has 15 knockouts on his resume. Silva has 12 knockouts on his resume. It's pure violence. Take my money. In fact, don't even need to give any money, really. We get it free over here. So, take my fire stick. Yeah, so, like, it's a must fight to have, in my opinion. If we go into the rankings, as you can see, Jean Silva moving into number 6 there. Arnold Allen drops down to number 7. Steve Garcia is in at number 9, but he's on a fight win streak as well. It's a slugfest, man. Make it happen. Make it happen. But, look, from a fan's perspective, stylistically, the Garcia fight is, I think, better. Yair Rodriguez, probably the most logical option. Yair Rodriguez surely needs a fight soon, and there's no one really for him unless he's going to fight Aljamain Sterling, which is a possibility, right? Aljo's been around the game for quite a while, former champion. Yair Rodriguez, former interim champion. That booking kind of makes sense, and if that's the case, then yeah, you do Steve Garcia versus Jean Silva. So who knows? Talk says, if Volk wins, he will retire in Oz. That will then spanner the London main event. They make Mosfar and Lerone the main event for UFC 328 in May for the vacant strap. And Jean will fight Yair or Pico. What? That is a bold, big prediction, George. I mean, but then at the same time, who would you put in the main event for UFC London? I mean, I always thought it should have been MVP. But is that fight actually confirmed as the main event, though? Yeah, it is scheduled to headline. I mean, I think it's quite a slim one, but yeah, I actually like that jumble around you've done there. Steve Garcia is a great shout, says Wales. Mate, absolutely. Pure violence. Didn't even think of Garcia. He's on a tear, says Tallbox Talk. Yeah, look, 7-fight win streak. David Unama was his last victim. And that was but how many finishes is he on in a row? Because he finished Unama. Oh no, it is just one. He went to a decision against Kate. Yeah, I forgot about that. Prior to that, he was on a knockout streak. So yeah, the guy's entertaining. Jean will need to defend his ranking, and I'll take out Pico and say Sterling if he's fighting up, and Garcia if he's fighting down. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks about Pico, to be honest. Where would you still put Pico? Or are you on about Patricio Pitbull? Pitbull's on a win, but I think he will. Yeah, what do you do with Pitbull? I mean, if we talk about what's next for Arnold Allen, we could easily say that Pitbull would be an ideal shout to fight Arnold Allen. I know Pitbull has been unfortunate so far in the UFC. It was only one win. It was against Ige. Lost against Yair. Yeah, so why not? Why not? He lost against Yair. I think that makes sense. Pitbull against Arnold Allen. Or Arnold Allen could just get the winner of Dan Ige against Malky Costa. Malky Costa in at number... He's just outside. He's out of the rankings, so Dan Ige is his shot. Dan Ige, man, he's literally like the gatekeeper to get into the top 15, really, isn't he? But yeah, Ige versus Costa is going to take place February 21st. Jean will need to defend his ranking. I've already read that one out. Pico versus Ige. Mate, that's the one I said before. That's the one I said that Pico should have had for his debut. Really? I was quite shocked that he didn't get that one. Really shocked he didn't get that one. Pitbull versus Luke Riley. I think Luke Riley's got a bit of work to do before he gets anyone in the rankings, in my opinion. His debut was sensational, but maybe not just yet. Maybe just not just yet. All right, guys, smash like on the video if you've not done so already. Let's get in then to talk about the second fight of the main card between Natalia Silva and Rose Namajunas. Now, do you think that Natalia Silva won this fight? Because, look, if I'm honest, I don't think it was a great performance from her. We've seen better. It was super close. I think you could have easily given it to Rose, and I think Rose was very shocked by the outcome as well. I felt like we didn't see as many kicks as we used to seeing. I mean, we see one in the image there. Rose was kind of doing a good job, I felt, of closing the distance and kind of trying be effective with her boxing. Grappling wasn't really there. He tried on a few occasion, but yeah, like, would you say that Natalia Silva is ready for Shevchenko after seeing that performance? Personally, I mean, look, I still kind of want to see the fight. I would be hopeful that Silva comes into that critical of her last performance and then decides to really showcase who she really is and put on a hell of a show against a veteran in Shevchenko. I mean, we kind of need new blood coming through this division and new challenges for Shevchenko because, look, we all thought that Zhang Weili was going to be her ultimate test, and she made that look really easy. All right, granted, Zhang Weili is a strawweight, but, you know, and Natalia Silva, I don't think is probably the biggest of women's flyweights. So, yeah, I would say in terms of, like, hyping up that title fight, the performance wasn't great, and it doesn't give a good look. It's hard for the UFC to kind of really sell it. Am I still keen for it? Absolutely. I kind of said during the watch along, I felt like this fight, whoever was going to win, the UFC were going to win it regardless, because Rose hasn't fought Shevchenko before. All right, she kind of fell on hard times in this division against a Macy Barber and a Manon Fiorot, but she's a former champion. You can sell that. You can sell that fight better, really. But it is what it is. Silva is next in line. I think she called out Shevchenko. Maybe that happens later on in the year. I can't see it being on the White House card or anything like that. I think the UFC would have hoped that Rose won because Rose versus Shevchenko at the White House would have been ideal, with Rose being American. But I think that fight will happen just before the White House card, perhaps. Or just after. Hell nah to the nah, says Toolbox Talk. Yeah, I don't know. That's fair enough. But as for Rose Namajunas, what could we say is next for her if we go into the rankings then for you guys to have a look as well? Rose, I think, has got two options. She could fight Alexa Grasso if Alexa Grasso was to lose against Macy Barber in March. Alternatively, maybe Rose could be a backup for that fight if it was to fall through. Hoping she's kind of come away unscathed from that fight and no many injuries. The other option for Rose would be Jasmine Jasdavicius. She recently lost against Manon Fiorot back in October. She is ranked in there number 6, which is one spot above Rose. So why not? Because Jasdavicius, she's not going to get anyone else, really. I think Tracy Cortez, let's have a look. Tracy Cortez, Queen Silva, all coming off of losses as well, I believe. Yep. So you got Rose coming off a loss, Cortez coming off a loss, Queen Silva coming off a loss, Miranda Maverick coming off a loss. I think there's a few fights, 11 and 12, 13 are all booked against each other pretty much. Wang Kong is one to look out for. She could make a bit of a rise should she get the win against Eduarda Mora. Both girls on a 2-fight win streak. That fight will happen next month. In fact, the next fight night, the first fight night of the year, that's when that fight's going to happen. So, yeah, that's what I would say. Talk says, you reckon she could go to strawweight, challenge Dern or Zhang? Ooh, is that, are you referring to Rose? I mean, look, it's out the equation. It's possible, right? You've done your bit at flyweight. Why not move down? She's already got a win over Zhang, or 2 wins over Zhang Weili. So why would you not? Yeah, why would you? You might as well go down and fight for the belt at Mackenzie Dern, unless the UFC want to do Dern versus Weili, which kind of makes sense, really, as the next fight. Toolbox Talk says, feel bad for Cortez, next opponent after that heartbreaking split from Poatan. It didn't really last long though, did it? Who can she Wang Kong? Oh no. Oh no. Oh mate, that's too good. I enjoy that too much. I do that too much. Welcome on in, Patricia Leanshaw 592. Welcome on in. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We're a UFC fan channel where fan opinions matter most. Say, if Topuria doesn't fight at the White House, he will be stripped of the title. 100%. You reckon? Really? I mean, surely, like, I felt like the incident or whatever's going on with him and his wife, ex-wife, whatever, the whole court thing, I think it's kind of been put in place at an ideal time that delays Topuria to that White House card, in my opinion. You know, I'm not just saying it's coincidental, because it's not really. How can you fake something like that, or not fake it, but like, how can you put something like that in place at a perfect time? But yeah, you would, if you're Topuria, you probably would wait out, not fight early on in the year. You would wait out for the White House card, right? And hopefully get given a top fight. I mean, I still think that Topuria versus Makhachev is the ultimate fight that you could make, because it's two guys in their prime, two champions, etc., battling it out. But then at the same time, neither of them are American. So I don't know. Not Rose Silva. Are you on about Silva dropping down? I would like to see that. I really would. You know, fresh competition in the women's strawweight division. I think she could do it. I really do, because she is a small flyweight, like I said. What's up, Captain Tim Raff? How you doing? How you doing, man? What did you make of the fight so far? And of course, I want to hear some of the future matchups you want to see in this division. There's lots to go through coming right up, so stay tuned, buddy. Good to see you in the chats as always. Six Nations soon, says Talk Talk. Can't get aboard with that. Can't get aboard with that. Be perfect timing though, wouldn't it? So yeah, they're my options for Rose, Alexa Grasso, or Jasmine Jazz the Vicious. And of course, Natalia Silva will probably fight for the belt next, because let's be honest, Valentina Shevchenko's got no one else. So let's head on back then to the third fight on the main card between the heavy hitters. Waldo, I always get the name mixed up. Waldo Cortez Acosta TKOing Derek Lewis in the second round. I stupidly put a decision for this fight, didn't I? I thought it was going to be a lot more competitive. Waldo Cortez Acosta holds his ranking down yet again. This time he defeats a very well-known name in this division, and one that's loved by many fight fans, really. But, I mean, I don't really want to talk about his performance too much, because I think it was pretty spot on with the game plan. Rather talk about Derek Lewis, really, you know, because you never really know what you're going to get with Derek Lewis. You don't. If he gets kind of clipped, or his opponent comes in with a bit more confidence than him and he senses it, then he kind of crumbles, really. In my opinion, Lewis needs like a fight that paired up against another slugger like himself, really, just to kind of make him look good. But like I said, in the watch along, like, I feel like he's been good with his skill set recently. You know, we've seen him execute trips. We've, you know, seen kind of all sorts from him. Some playing possum just so that he can land a shot, you know, and put people away. So I don't know, man. That's just what it kind of feels like for me. And he made a bit of a fuss about being in main events, because he doesn't like the whole 5-round kind of thing. He's tailor-made for 3 rounds. He gets paired up against, all right, a technical striker in Waldo Cortez Acosta. And yeah, man, that's all she wrote, really, for that. Excellent performance from Waldo. What do we want to see next from these gentlemen? Well, personally, Waldo Cortez Acosta will probably fight, let's go into the rankings, probably fight Curtis Blades. Now, Curtis Blades did call out the winner of this fight on Twitch prior to the fight. So I'd imagine that could be a fight that's next. Curtis Blades is recovering from an Achilles injury, which I think he suffered back in August. So hopefully he's training, he's back and he's ready to go. Waldo Cortez Acosta has fought 6 times in a 12-month period. He's probably ready to jump back in there. He's probably ready to go in like a month or two's time. The UFC want to fill up some cards in March. Curtis Blades, where you at? Let's make it happen. both, Blades is ranked above him, and it'd be great for Waldo Cortez Acosta to finally get someone ranked above him, really, wouldn't it? Patricia says, Justin gave Paddy a break, not giving him 60 to 70 leg kicks. You know what? That's actually a really, really good point, because I was a little bit worried about those kicks heading into that fight. That's a very good point. Hold that point there, because we'll get into the main event soon. Costa versus Sergey 2 or Volkov, says Toolbox Talk. Tom and Garn or Alex versus Garn will be next title shot. So Acosta will be in number 1 contender fight next. I mean, what's crazy is this division is so shallow. Waldo Cortez Acosta should really be in a title fight right now. But because there's a bit of a hold up because of the no contest between Aspinall and Garn, we're getting this one. We're getting this one. I mean, Volkov needs a fight as well. You're right. So maybe the UFC could give him Volkov. I think it's a fun fight. Both technical strikers in this division. Volkov, very rangy. He's been looking insane lately. The win against Almeida was, I want to say, the judges were on his side in that fight. Yeah, controversial. But I don't know. I could see why you could pair it to Volkov, but hey ho. For Derek Lewis, I'm going to give him Marcin Tybura. It'll be a rematch from when they last fought in 2018. Derek Lewis won that one. It's either that or you give him Shamil Gaziev, a fighter who Lewis is yet to fight. Gaziev in at number 11, Lewis in at number 10. So there you go. I think that's probably the most likely of options. Would it be a fight night headliner? Maybe, because Shamil Gaziev headlined his last fight. Didn't he? No, he didn't. When did he? Oh, he headlined against Rosenstreet, didn't he? That was quite some time ago. My bad. But yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, look, we're going to get some crazy fight night headliners over the next few months. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is a headliner. Really. So yeah, they're my two options. What do you reckon? Blade's last fight was Pony, so you can't give him Acosta. Acosta will bingo him in one. I mean, it'd be good to see it, though, wouldn't it? Yeah, okay. Volkov's a good one. Volkov's a good one. I mean, what's also crazy... Yeah, that win against Almeida, he kind of needs a better win after that, really. Give him Ant. Yeah, you could give Lewis versus Ant. Yeah. Both come from loss. I mean, it's crazy. Almeida, Spivak, Tybura, Dulia, Lewis, Gaziev, Tuivasa, Parkin, all coming off of losses. Man, this division. I mean, look, watch out for Volta Walker because he's going to get a massive jump when he beats, a bit of a jump when he beats Marcin Tybura. I forgot Tybura booked against him. So, yeah, he could very well find himself. He'll do this. He could be doing the same as what Cortez Acosta did last year. Really, stay super active and just climb to the top of this division. I mean, he's in my ones to watch for the year, which video is not yet to come out yet. Hopefully, it will. Fingers crossed. So yeah, they're my picks for that. Let's head on back now to talk about the co-main event. Sean O'Malley against Song Yadong. What did you make of Sugar Sean's performance? It was a little bit cautious because, Song Yadong is very quick, very powerful. So I felt like he dealt with him in the right way. Super close fight. It really could have gone any way in the judges, in my opinion. But look, it was a crucial win for Sugar Sean because, like I said in the watch along, I felt that it was make or break for him. And he's kind of said that on Ariel's show this week as well, saying like, a loss and then all of a sudden he's on this kind of same trajectory as what Tony Ferguson was on. But then I think he kind of was almost open to that. It almost sounded like it anyway to me, because then he could get out of his UFC contract and do some crazy boxing fights for fun. So I think maybe he might end up doing that down the line. But look, a win against Song, he kind of now puts himself in this predicament where he's like, I want a title fight next. But let's not come on, why wait out, man? We're going to get the Yarn versus Marab trilogy. I think waiting out for either of those two guys is dangerous because if Merab beats Jan, then what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? And he kind of actually downplayed fighting Corey Sandhagen. He was kind of denied that he wanted to fight Corey Sandhagen. So in my opinion, I think Sugar Sean's ducking him. I really do. Welcome on Chuggins 69 says low-key pooping right now, not gonna lie. Well, look, there's no better time to join into an aftermath show whilst you're on the shitter, mate. Welcome on in, hit that like button, and yeah, I want to know about your Sugar Sean performance and who you're going to give him next. Enough for number one contender fight versus Umar in Abu Dhabi. Jan versus Merab trilogy needs to be closed sooner rather than later. Yeah, no, spot on with that comment. I can't see O'Malley accepting a fight with Umar. But yeah, you're right. That could very well be something that the UFC would want to do, prefer to do, because Umar in is at number 2. And then otherwise then you've got two guys in the top 5 who are suddenly waiting for the title fights. Sugar Sean and Umar. Like, Umar deserves it over Sean, really. He's 2-fight win streak. Okay, he also had a lackluster performance against Davison Figueiredo. Just do the O'Malley versus Sandhagen fight, man. I think it's must-see. It's been a must-see fight for a long time. I've been saying it, you know. O'Malley just won't want to fight that Umar. He won't. I think Umar will wait for Paddy and Merab. Rightly so as well, you know. For Song Yadong, I think it makes sense for him to fight Davison Figueiredo next, you know. But I know both guys are coming off of losses. Figgy, I think, is on his way out, man. He's about 40 years old. Oh, no, he's 38. So he is on his way out. I mean, especially with recent performances. Like, the Umar one was pretty shocking. Split decision win against Montel Jackson. Yeah, he's 1 win in his last... Well, all right, 2 wins in his last 5. Tough. All against top guys, though. All against top guys. Chuggins 69 says, gonna give him these poopy cheeks on all 4s. Gonna clap my dirty cheeks while he finishes from behind. Awesome. Fair. Fair. All right. Good input. Good chat. But yeah, that's all I've got really on this co-main event, if I'm honest. I just want to see more. Oh, these chats are no longer popping up. Well, you broke my chat feed now. Nice one, Bellend. I don't know where it's gone. Well, it's broken. There it is. There we go. Oh, brilliant. Love a good troll on a Tuesday night. Do you know what I'm saying? Where are you from, anyways? I can't wait for the Saki comment. My comment to you is how much Lego can you fit in your bum? Classic in-betweeners. Right, so let's move on then to the main event. Oh, he's from Texas. Nice. Why is these chats not fucking coming up on this thing? Bruh. 4 long bricks. Yes, I'm rock. Brother, he's taken Foxtrot Oscar. Thanks, Toolbox Talk. Well, right, okay, heading on back then to some serious stuff. Let's talk about the main event. Justin Gaethje defeating Paddy Pimblett via decision. Judges scored it 48-47, 49-46, 49-46. Really surprised by the outcome of this fight, actually, because I put down Paddy to win by a sub in the 3rd round. I just don't understand, why did Paddy decide to stand and trade with Gaethje for the whole fight? I mean, was there a gentleman's agreement? Because it could have been. It could have been Gaethje's last fight, maybe, if he would have lost. Was there some kind of, like, you know, communication here? Let's just stand and bang, put on a show, and maybe perhaps get a huge bonus. I mean, it got a bonus anyway. So, like, for Paddy, it doesn't really make sense. Why would you pick getting fight of the night extra money over potentially winning a belt. All right, interim belt, but then you're next for the actual belt, and then you're going to get even more money. So it didn't really like add up for me. Like, what was his game plan? Did the new bonuses affect his game plan at all? Don't know. Like, I feel like we needed more takedown attempts from him. Okay, he was on the back foot for most of the fight. More clinching up, more getting it to the ground. Because he got Chandler to the ground pretty well. All right, Gaethje's got better wrestling skills than Paddy. And I'm not maybe better counter wrestling skills than Chandler. I know Chandler's like real short for the division and that. But Gaethje just mopped the floor with him for 5 rounds. It was just like, okay, Paddy was tagging him early on in round 1 and looked quite good, to be fair. But then once Gaethje started landing the mark, it was just over and over again. Paddy was like a deer in the headlights. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to see what's next for Paddy. I think Paddy was quite gracious in defeat, though. I hope that he didn't come into the fight injured. But it would have been good to have seen him opt for takedowns and take the back when Gaethje goes to get back to his feet and threaten the submissions. If he'd have done that, he would have taken a lot less damage. I would have guaranteed it. So yeah, it was kind of sucked, really. Why does Paddy punch the way he does? Says Toolbox Talk. Yeah, I don't know. His striking has got better, to be fair. I think it's got better. Like, it compared to what it was doing at Cage Warriors. I'll love to make the chat giggle. Do you ever mop the floor naked? Actually, very therapeutic. No, actually. That's a good shout. I'll do it next week. Well, this weekend. There you go. Okay. All right. Smash a like on the video, folks. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. What's next for Paddy the Baddy Pimlet? Would you give him Dan Hooker? If he takes care of business against Benoit Saint-Denis this weekend, there's a bit of beef between the two. Hooker said some disrespectful things. But was that on purpose because he really wants to fight Paddy Pimlet, and you know that fight's going to generate a lot of traction and a lot of hype? So I think potentially, yeah. Or does the UFC give him Arman Tsarukyan, who's a bit stuck in limbo at the moment because the UFC don't want to give him another title shot, and there's no one really there for him because he beat Charles Oliveira. Okay, controversial. Max Holloway is going to be fighting Charles Oliveira. That's it. Gamrot, you run the fight back against Gamrot. Faziev's coming off a loss. Marcano's going to be fighting a featherweight in Brian Ortega. That's a rematch. So there's no really one there for him. Has Guru been in chat? Guru's a knobhead, mate. Guru's a knobhead. But no, I don't think he has. Joe, I've trolled Guru before, you know. Do you know what's fun is getting in Guru's chat and telling him that his dinner's ready. Because he lives in his mum's basement. Do you know what I mean? Oh, dear. But yeah, back to business. Yeah, I think it's going to be either of those fights for Paddy. Like, the UFC will give him another crack. It'll be Tsarukyan. Most likely. Like, if Benoit Saint-Denis really hurts Dan Hooker bad in his hometown, then that's what it'd be. But yeah, Gaethje, it's going to be could be Ilia Topuria. Could he be holding out, however, for a super fight is Ilia Topuria? Or will the UFC just kind of force him to defend his belt on the White House card against an American instead? That's probably the most likely one, right? How do the pair match up against each other? Well, Topuria's got really good, tight, crisp boxing. I think he's going to be very difficult to tag. Gaethje is game as they come. He's going to want to march forwards. Dip his head to expose his head in order to land his massive meat hands on Topuria. But Topuria's got freakish power, man. Like, can Topuria knock out Gaethje is kind of the question all fight fans are wondering at the moment. I think he could. Gaethje's been stopped before. All right, yeah, like, he got stopped. When did he last get stopped? The Max Holloway fight, right? Last few seconds. So if Max Holloway can stop him, and so can Topuria, really. Prior to that, he's been submitted a few times. Got TKO'd by Dustin Poirier back in 2018. Got finished by Eddie Alvarez in the third round back in 2017. So, yeah, I can see it. I can see Topuria being defensively sound. Gaethje having a hard time landing on the mark, and then Topuria finding an excellent counter shot to put him away. And look, Topuria, then, if he adds Gaethje to his long list of guys he's absolutely dead in, then all of a sudden you've gone from beating Volk, Holloway, Oliveira, and Gaethje. Gaethje and Oliveira, two veterans in this lightweight division who've been around the block for a long time, been in some insane wars. Mate, it would be insane. Topuria would be up there as one of the best lightweights of all time, for sure. I mean, he's probably up there with one of the best fighters of all time, really, both divisions. I think he surpasses McGregor if he continues fighting and destroying people. What do you guys reckon? Got to make Hooker Paddy. Mate, give it a rest. You're boring. No one's finding you funny. Said Talk. I said earlier, Ilya smokes Justin. Yeah, spot on. So what would be the score out of 10 for the fights? Overall, in terms of this overall card you're on about. To be honest, Wales, time out. Nice. Overall, I'll give it like a 6 or a 7, if I'm honest. That's me being quite harsh, really. But yeah, I don't know. It was kind of weird. Paddy probably won't fight Ilya now. Nah, it's not going to happen, is it? I think that was the fight that the UFC were praying to make this year, and they would have made it on the White House card, I reckon. Of course, look, do they want to do Makhachev versus Ilya? I feel like it's one that people can really get hyped about, right? Because they're both in their prime. I keep saying this, I know, but at the same time, I do feel like the UFC would just want, or would rather people fight in their own divisions, so that it doesn't cause issues later on. Like, do you then strip Ilya? The fact they've not stripped him at the moment, I think, is quite impressive, because recently we've had guys get stripped from the belt if they're out for a long injury, or if they're going to be out for a while, because they want to keep the division going. Or if you're going to move up in the division, you can't then challenge for the belt above if you've got a belt. You know, it's just, they just want to keep things ticking along. So for that reason, Topuria versus Makhachev probably won't happen, and Makhachev will probably get a bigger fight. Rakhmonov, I think this is insane. I think we really need to see that fight. And look, Gaethje versus Topuria is still a hell of a fun one to see. I think Gaethje versus Topuria is far better than Gaethje versus Paddy. Than Topuria versus Paddy. The whole card is give 7.5 out of 8, says Toolbox Talk. Topuria is the only one who has KO'd 3 champs in a row and called it. Yeah, man. Not even McGregor did that. Yeah, spot on. Only person I see giving Ilya problems is Makhachev. True. I reckon he'll vacate and Justin will fight Arman for Undisputed on the White House. It could be possible. That's another option, yeah. Yeah, because, like, then you just solve this whole problem, right? Of, like, what do you do? Sarukian's there. No one's there to... He's unable to fight anybody. Gaethje's got the interim belt. Just make them fight, yeah. Make them fight. Zamrock says, I mean, in WWE, if a champion is badly injured and will be out for a while, they drop the belt. And yeah, of course. Yeah, companies want to keep things moving on, keep the money coming. Wales, Mahashev, give anyone a problem. Yes, mate, same with Ilya. Exactly, that's what makes it so interesting. I'm down for that. Let's run it, says Sai. So yeah, I mean, fans are up for it, for sure. I'm not sure if the UFC will be. Like, I think that's the... And like, do you know what, actually, let's go into this now, because I think we should. Oh.
About me?
We'll get
I didn't even fight last night.
Well, why did that not clear? There we go. Let's go into that. Did that go... Oh, what?
About me?
Hotkeys are still...
I didn't even fight last night. Just Dana.
Do you have any updates about the eye of Tom Aspinall? And is there a rematch in the works?
Oh, Jesus. Don't let me talk about Tom Aspinall's eye. Apparently he's going in for a second surgery or just had it, and by surgery I mean injections. I have no idea. Get a quote from him. God forbid I say something about it. Go ahead.
Jeez, catching strays in my own living room on a Sunday morning.
Okay, I didn't mean to play that, but it played anyway. My hotkeys aren't working for some reason, but all right, let's talk about that news moment for a sec, because it kind of looked a bit weird, right? Because that was Tom Aspinall reacting to Dana White's strange comments during the post-fight presser. It just seemed like Dana doesn't believe Tom about his eye. I mean, what I can see is happening here is Dana's getting frustrated because he needs to make fights, but he can't because Tom has this issue with his eye and he can't really get cleared. And maybe perhaps Tom's been getting some mixed opinions from doctors and surgeons and all this, and then of course he's then feeding it back to the UFC, and the UFC are probably looking at it and going, is he fibbing? Like, is he just trying to play it careful? I don't know. It kind of is a bit fishy for me. I just feel like, yeah, the UFC want to move things along. They don't want to do bad to Aspinall because he did wait out all that time for John Jones. He won the belt at last, or was given the belt at last, and then his title defense ended up in a no contest. But look, at the end of the day, Dana, like, this guy was waiting for John Jones forever. Like, it felt like 2 years or something, right? But you still have John Jones as like this kind of like golden boy still. Like, he's still your favourite fighter, no matter what. It's very weird to me. It's very, very weird. Like, I know, like, the whole, like, fiasco with Garn did give the UFC a bit of a bad look. But, can't be helped. It should be Cyril Garn that should be punished for this. It shouldn't be Tom Aspinall. Do you know what I mean? If he can't see, he can't see. So it's kind of a bit crazy for me, if I'm honest. But that's kind of like my take on it all. Smash a like on the video. Let me know what you guys think. But that wasn't the thing that I was going to play to you guys. The thing that I was going to play, I don't know where these images come from. These are all old. It should be... Oh, I don't know what's happened here. I've got an extra one. It's not window capture, no. I don't know. Anyhow, I'll try and play it over the top, perhaps. I can't play the audio, however, because it's a track, so it's going to. There we go. Let me just get rid of them. Oh no. There we go. We're back. Yeah, I wanted to play this to you guys, get you guys hyped. Let's read to some comments, actually, before we get to it, though. Why doesn't Arman move to welterweight? I think he beats Islam. Ooh. Follows Islam at welterweight. That'd be tremendous, wouldn't it? Paddy has been medically suspended. What is he? Please say you say the clip earlier. I don't know what you're on about. Zamrock says Dana does come out with some mad shit. He said that one fighter that used a USADA approved inhaler is just drink some water instead. Like what? It's normal though. Everyone gets ones, but some fights can turn around quick. Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, no, we all good. Yeah, get your comments on the whole Tom Aspinall Dana White fiasco. The one thing I was going to play to you guys was this. This promo comes fan-made, and it looks insane, though. It's got that tune. So, watching it was like, why must UFC do more promos? Like, the type of promo that was quite appetizing. Like, look at it, man. It's like slowly bouncing. Topuria coming towards Islam, like the week in the middle. Like, this is I was proper hyped on promo. I like track. Drop of the rose there as well, and then just fade. Like, that's sick. That's awesome. Audio on it is really loud, by the way. Who was that? Hopefully that wasn't the clip I just showed you, because that shouldn't have played through. Unless I've got it. Yeah. Hi Patricia, says Sai. Welterweight for Arman is crazy. I hear what you're saying. He's getting no respect to lightweight. Makes sense. AI is mental, says Toolbox Talk. Where was Justin's 60-70 leg kicks? I know! He didn't even need them. That's what's crazy. Like, it's his best weapon. You always say it during the watch along. And he could have chewed up Paddy lead leg up hard. And that's real. Paddy's not going to, like, put Justin down, really, with counters. Oh, okay. My bad. Maybe we're going to get banned. Shit. Oh, damn it. That's a shit. What? It's just not even... That's so weird, because it's the audio thing's hidden for me on here. It wasn't playing through my laptop, like the Tom Aspinall one. Ugh. Oh, is it because it was video 4? No, it wasn't. Yeah, we'll deal with that later. That was sick. Shame they don't do promos like that anymore. Maybe Paramount can help them out with it. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping for that. You know, I really am. That was fire. Yes. Yeah, but yeah. One next thing we get into. Let's talk about then Ilia Topuria. He had his little message for Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje following this past weekend's main event. He says, "Little sausage, the only thing you had to do was beat a 38-year-old guy. You just lost the biggest paycheck of your life. You were going to get rich. If you won, Justin, all I can say is congratulations, and I would like to tell you to get ready, but you're screwed no matter what." So what does that last bit mean, I wonder? Because does it mean that he's just going to get beat regardless? Or is he screwed because he's not actually going to get the fight? It's like, is Topuria trolling here? I don't know. That's what I kind of thought. But obviously, it's, you know, he knows. Topuria's confident. He knows he beat Justin Gaethje anyways. Get some Attitude Era promos. You know it. But yeah. Type shiz get hit. Ilya need that money to pay court fees. Yeah, mate, to be fair. Yeah, true. I don't know. I think he's tidy anyways. Actually, I hear, is he not selling his house? There you go. There's your answer. Playing chess out here. Instead of taking fights and risking like huge opportunities to potentially lose, he's selling his house instead. Fair play. But yeah, the other bit we would want to talk about is Dustin Poirier teasing a future return, perhaps. I mean, he replied to a fan's comment saying, "I'll be back for that one," when he was referring to completing the trilogy against Justin Gaethje. Look, I kind of always wanted to see that get run back a third time. I felt like it needed to happen, and I was hoping that that would have been the one fight that Dustin has for before he rides off to the sunset. But if he's game for it, he's game for it. Maybe he's getting itchy feet. Poirier could be getting itchy feet here, but does he go straight in there? Imagine if he says to the UFC, "Yeah, I'll come back. I want that trilogy fight against Gaethje," and then Sarukian gets sidestep again. Like, that would be kind of like mad, wouldn't it? I could kind of see that happening. I really could. Like, I think Paddy Pimblett might even get a shot before Sarukian does. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, smack a like on the video if you've not done so already, guys. Tenner, deal done, says George. There is a reason Conor and Islam avoided Gaethje their whole career. Oh, wow, yeah. But I mean, Khabib beat Gaethje. I think Islam would as well. He's teasing. Ilya will be back in play before he does. Yeah, you reckon? Surely the White House card has got Topuria written all over it, in my opinion. All right, let's see then. What else have we got for you guys? So I've actually we've run through all the headlines. Actually, we've run through it all. All right, awesome stuff. Let's head on back then. All right, thank you very much, guys, for watching this Aftermath show. You guys have been fantastic in the chats tonight. So round of applause for you guys. Don't forget to hit like on the video if you've not done so already. But the content keeps on coming here on the Against the Fence channel because, yes, we've got yet another numbered card this weekend, which means Sai and Ash will be live tomorrow night to break that card down for you. They'll be ranking each fight based on what we got: striking, grappling, power, speed, and cardio. So you don't want to miss that. Lots to talk about, of course. Banging card from Australia. So you guys should definitely tune in. Same time as well as this stream right here. We're always live at 9 p.m. here in the UK, 4 p.m. in Eastern time, Pacific time. You guys do the maths. Can't remember it off the top of my head. Patricia said Khabib told Islam no. Okay, I never know that. Don't think Poirier will be back or matched up to fight Gaethje before June. I don't think. Good night, JK says Toolbox Talk. Peace out, Wales. So much love, Zamarok. Yes, boys, we'll see you tomorrow. UFC 325 breakdown show. Get the notifications bell rang, and don't forget to tune in and give the guys some love. Want to hear your opinions. All right, ciao for now. Bye bye.